Hi, everybody. It's Sandra Pelli, the Sandini, Inner Peace Mentor, Dragon Ally, Galactic Shaman, and Visionary of the Guide Academy. This is a basic tutorial on the Mailchimp platform. So follow along. Feel free to pause, rewind, whatever it takes. I'm going to do as thorough a going through of this as I can, but understand that this is a very basic one. I personally have a paid version of the Mailchimp, so it may offer me a few things that you may not have access to. So if you go in and look at this and you don't have access to that stuff, just know that that's a step that you don't need to worry about when you're creating your own. But I believe what I'm going to show you is very basic and should be okay to do. So having said that, just give me half a moment here. I'm going to just shut that down for a second. I want to bring up Mailchimp first on my computer so that I'm at least going into the right screen. So where are we? Mailchimp right there. Okay, so here is the basic Mailchimp. And there's two ways that you're going to do this, okay? One is you'll see that over on the right-hand side of Mailchimp per se, there is a create button. And I'm just talking about a very basic landing page right now, a sign-up form for creating an email list. The other way to do it is to look over on your left-hand side of Mailchimp, and where it says audience, there's actually a word that says sign up form. Both of these will take you to the exact same spot. Okay, let me just go. I'm going to actually use the big create new button that's up on the right hand side of the Mailchimp. And here it is. You got your options of email, automations, website, landing page, and creative assistant. The two that I most use, in fact, I haven't used the other ones, but the two that I use, period, are email and landing page. So you're going to click on landing page. And at that point, you're actually going to name it. So I'm just going to say, call it something for now. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. And you actually have the ability to rename it once you're in there. So don't get all caught up on how important is this name right here. You can rename it once you get in there and you're doing your thing. The next thing to do is to select an audience. I've called mine Sandra Pelli the Sandini. And I'm going to tell you right up front, if you are on a free Mailchimp, you only have so many audiences that you can use. Period. End of story. So the thing to do is just maybe name it either your name or name this as the main audience. And then the key from there is actually you're going to tag things, meaning the hashtag. You're going to tag things rather than creating new audiences. And when you tag something, you'll be able to go in after the fact and see who has who's signed up under that tag. And this will become more clear as I move along in here. So right now I've named the page, I've selected my audience, and then I begin. From there, you're going to pop up into this select a template screen. And moving forward, this will be something that you will be playing around in, is this area. But for now, if you just scroll down and it just says grow your list, you're going to want to click on that one. Very simple, very straightforward. And it is an extremely basic landing page for growing your list. Okay. So you click on that and it's going to bring up this. Now I'll tell you right now that what I've got in here is not what I want in here. I'm actually going to change the logo. And I don't know why this keeps coming up. It's a pain in the butt that this one keeps coming up. So I'm going to replace it with my logo. So as you saw, I clicked on that replace. I have a lot of things in here. So I have to go 100 rather than 25 to get to where I want to find this. I'm pretty sure it's the second or third one. So it just, oh, there it is there. So there's my logo and I'm putting it in there. Okay. Then from there, you're just going to write down whatever your title is. Very straightforward. Hi, glad to see you. Whatever you want to write, just throw it in there, save and close. Same with the use this space to tell people what they're doing, what they're getting. If you're using a landing page and you are offering something like a free gift, then this is where you would just kind of go, hey, I'm this is what I'm giving you. So glad that you're here. Thank you for being here, and whatever you want to write. Then it comes down to this email address and subscribe. And here is an important piece. Okay. Obviously, the email address is very, very much required. Now, you can actually ask for them to have a first name, and you can ask them for a last name. Some people will give it, some people won't. I put both of those in there when I'm creating a landing page. You can require a first name, but there's some people that say don't require a last name. Let them have their own choice, because some people are really hesitant to give that much information because you haven't developed the trust factor yet. So at least require the first name, because that's really important. This I am interested in. I personally am not using that very much, because if you click on it, basically what it does is it drops down all these different things that you have created. And if you're just beginning, this has absolutely nothing as of this point yet anyway. But if you have, like, I've been on Mailchimp for 5 years already when I am doing this recording for you. And so these things, I have a ton of them. And like this membership at $20 US, it's no longer even there. Like I now am, my membership's now $47. So these bits and pieces, I don't bother with this. I am interested in, but that's what it does. It provides you with another way to garner interest in something else, I guess you could say. So if you see now, I've got the email address, the first name, the last name, and then if you scroll down this, you can see that it says button and it says subscribe. Now, I've used this for all kinds of different things. So you can write, sign me up. You can write, yeah, I want in, or count me in. Whatever terms and languaging you use, you can put in this thing here. Okay. Then it comes down to this next section, which says confirmation message. And if you click on the button, it shows that you can do a landing page or a web address. So if you have the option to send your people who are signing up to these things. If you leave it at confirmation message, what they're going to get is this exact same page that you've just created with your logo, or hi, glad to see you, and the space of words that you've just gotten, except that now what they'll get is, instead of where it says email address, first name, last name, subscribe, you'll get an actual, hey, thank you for subscribing, or whatever you tend to write. Okay. If you choose a landing page or something like that, it will go to the landing page that you've chosen. So that's an extra step that you will need to create if you choose a landing page specifically. To keep it simple, since some of you are just beginning, it is literally just easier to keep scrolling down and go, look, success, you've been added to the audience. Okay. So in this case, if you have created something that you want to give them and you have a link, say it's a meditation that's in a Google Drive, say it's an ebook, then this is where you would actually go here. Here is the 10 tips. Let's say that that's what you called it, 10 tips to blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then you would actually write down what it's called. Let's go, here's it called 10 tips. You will put your highlight over it, and then you will scroll up to this area where it's bold, italic, underlined, and this symbol here means link. So at that point, you will push it, and you can come over to here, and you can, if you've got something that's in your Google Drive where it says web address, this is where you would share your link. You also have the options to put an email address, a file, a landing page, a survey, whatever the case is in here. This is the different things that you can put onto there and send them over there instead. So you can double step it, meaning that, remember at the I'm just going to close this. Remember, I said here at this confirmation message, you can go to a landing page right here. If you have landing pages created in your Mailchimp, this is where you would find them. And you would just scroll through the multiple ones that you have, or the one or two that you have, depending on where you're at with your having created emails or landing pages so far in here. Okay. So for the sake of this, right now, I'm going to put down that this is where I'm sending them, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm just going to click on this again. So right now they're subscribing. They're going to get sent to this landing page instead of a confirmation message that's separate, that's on this page specifically. So I'm just going to kind of show you what that looks like right here, and then we'll go a little bit further. Okay. So if you press preview, that was that button at the top of the screen, you can see that you can see what it looks like on your desktop, and this is what you get. So if I filled this out here right now, it will take me over to the next step, but I'll show you what it looks like on mobile as well. So you can look at this and you can see what it looks like on mobile, which is really kind of cool. And I'll show you what the purpose of that is in a minute. So let's go back to desktop. So let's say I have to fill this in. I'm going to use my email. I'm going to say my first name. They're not requiring me to use my name, and I'm going to push subscribe. In that case, if I had actually created this, it would then drop you over to that landing page, which is that weekly email, that weekly events one. Okay. So you've got an idea of what happens there. So coming back to this, there was something I was just going to show you. Bear with me a second. Oh, yes. Okay. I know that there's a way to do this for yourself in mobile, but I can't remember what it is offhand. So my apologies for that. So this is the basic one here. So I'm going to go save and close. And now I'm going to show you kind of like the beginning stages here. So it's now going to pop you out. Remember that when we first went in, we hit that create new. Because you were creating a new, it went directly into the templates and asked you to pick which template. Okay. So what's happened now is, because we've got that all figured out, we've now come back to kind of what would be the beginning stages of this. And I'll show you a little bit about this, and then I'll explain more about it as well. So here's where you could actually change the name of that landing page. That's pretty straightforward. Okay. You're going to scroll down, and I believe I know in my paid version, I can edit the URL, meaning that I can change it to whatever it wants. And for some of you, you've heard other people speak about changing the URL, and the URL doesn't have to be what it's titled. That's entirely up to you, what you want to call your URL. I know when I am using a landing page that is something very specific, say I'm on a telesummit or something like that, and this landing page is one that I'm using for all of my things, what I will do is replicate this landing page, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. I'll replicate this landing page, and then I'll actually put the telesummit's name on here, so that I know that these leads have come specifically from that summit that I'm on. Having said that, it's also really important to, gotta save this. Okay. That when you go up, no, it didn't save. Come on, save it. Oh, it looks like this is taken already. So I'm going to add a 1 to that. That's why. Okay. So I'm going to go up to this section where it says edit title and icon. I wanted to walk you through something here. This is really interesting. When you look at the top of your screen, you'll see all kinds of different icons. For the Mailchimp, you'll see that they actually have a little yellow square with a monkey's head in it. If you get any emails from myself, you will notice that 95% of them will have this. I'll show you. Actually, it's probably easier just to show you. Okay, so upload image. Okay, I'm going to show you with this one. I'm going through my photos first. because I have one that's specifically created for this. Bear with me here a moment. There's mine there. You'll see that this is kind of the same thing that came off of my my logo. It's actually a gear because I'm an avid mountain biker and my son created it, and it's the different colors of the chakras in it. So now I've got this. Okay, so I've got that. So when people click on my Mailchimp stuff, it will pop up on their web page, and it will have that little logo, just like the Mailchimp has the little yellow square with the monkey's head in it. My stuff will have this gear on it. Okay, it's just like you'll see that there's different icons for Google, there's different icons for Mozilla, whatever the case is, there's different little icons that you can put in there. Okay, so let's say you don't have one that is created, because it's very fussy about the size. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean here. Okay, let's go back to the beginning right here. I love this owl. Owls are very much a part of my branding, I guess you could say. And I just clicked on it, but notice what it says. It actually says that the favicons or favicons must be square images between 16 by 16 to 512 to 512 pixels. Update, then select this image to edit in Content Studio. So if I click on the update image, all it's going to do is bring me back to that image, right? And when I'm here, I don't actually have the ability to edit it in the manner that I want. I don't think I do. I'm going to just walk through this and see if I can. Okay. So first of all, it's being resized automatically because the pixel size is 2738 by 3651, and that's massively big. It takes a long time for mobile phones to grab that and have it populate on their phone. So it automatically goes down to one that they much prefer, which is usually 800 or something like that. So I want to go to square. And then I also want to change this lock the dimensions area. And I can change that by going to 512 here. Notice it down at the bottom left-hand corner of Mailchimp where it says lock dimensions. It's now showing 512 by 512. And I'm going to save that. It's now changed. It's quite a bit different there. And I'm going to double click on it because it's now put that face into that little spot there. So now when when this landing page comes up on somebody's open screen of the internet, it will have that little piece in there. Now you'll notice too that it's really hard to tell what that is versus the Mailchimp one, which is a yellow thing with a monkey's head in it. So be very particular about what you're putting in there and how much you're grabbing of it. Like that's why I'm not using that that owl face in there, because it's kind of lost in the size of it. You can tell right away that you can barely see it. So I'm actually going to go back in and replace it with that other one. There it is there. Because that's far easier to see. Okay. Now you may or may not have the ability to do that on a free version of Mailchimp. I have no idea. Okay. So then when you go to the social share, this is another piece that's really important to remember to change, because so often I've gotten this you'll see here, I've got this photo in here that's yellow with part of my name. And that is something I created like eons ago, way back when I first started doing this. And so it recognizes that. And I want to not be sending that. I actually want to replace the image that's more current to what I'm actually sending out. Okay. So when I'm sending out my weekly emails, I've actually created two of these banners here that have all the colors on it. And I'll click on this one because it's actually fits in there really nice. And then I actually will write something in the social share description as well. So if this is a lead magnet thing where you're going, it's your 10 tips thing, then write down 10 tips on blah, 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 and this is your moment to entice your audience to go, oh, I want to click on that and I want to see what it's all about. And you would actually use whatever photo that you want to use here that is pertinent to what you're offering as well. Okay. So that's really important. Then the next part of this that's important, if you have the ability, like I mentioned, you can change your URL. Okay. URL is that thing that when it comes up at the top of people's screen, it's just like Facebook. If you leave your Facebook where you're just a number, then that's what people will see there. I've changed all my Facebook stuff to either Sandra Pelly the Sandini, or if it's one of my groups, it's the Soulful Empowerment, or it's the Incredible You. So instead of getting a bunch of numbers, they're actually getting my name on the URL, and it's way easier for people to find things rather than going by some random number. Okay. The next super important thing, and this is where tags come in, is you're going to the edit audience. You'll notice that I've got my audiences here. I always keep it with just Sandra Pelly. That founder one is just a random one that I'm not getting rid of. So here's where tags come in, super important, okay? You'll notice that I've probably got however many 100 different ones here. And you can do as many as you want, which is what is beautiful about that, and I'll show you after, is how these come into play. So right now, I'm going to go call it something because I want people to bear with me here. It's for my sake, because as people click on that, they're going to get automatically tagged into that audience, and I'll be able to send emails directly to the group that has been tagged rather than my whole email list. So how this works is when you are creating a function, an event, and you've got your sign up form like we're creating right here today, and it's welcoming them into the event. That event, say it's called Call It Something. Okay. Now, when you go to email your list and say you have 500 people in your email list, but say only 50 of them or 5 of them have signed up for the Call It Something event. When you send out the emails, you can send it out specifically to those people in the Call It Something new tag. So you'll see here, and I'm just going to bring this up again, that the Call It Something is now in that list because I typed it in here, I created it, and then I pushed the word create. Okay, we can actually go and erase, change these out too in different places. So that's kind of how that's being used. Now, remember I mentioned that if I'm in a summit, that I would then have it tagged. This again is where I would create that tag that this is from summit blah blah blah, and this is that's that tag that's created. So I know that those people have come specifically from that as well. Okay. And then again, you can go in and edit your design. Now, you guys know that I had recreated this. When you see it here right now, it looks like it's still got that other thing in it. That's just a thing that Mailchimp, it takes a little bit for it to catch up, or it will always do this. It's one or the other. Okay. So I'm going into this. I can go back in and edit it again. And we're waiting for it to come up. There we go. So you'll see that here it is. Remember I said that all these bits and pieces are done. I can go back in and edit this. I can go back in and change this, or go in and create a landing page instead of sending them, or create a confirmation message. Success, you've been added to the audience. Here's your 10 tips on how to do something, or use the landing page or a web address. In most cases, given where you're at right now, it's unlikely that you're actually going to use a web address per se if you're just starting this. Having a landing page creates another step, but it sure looks a lot more professional when you have that landing page created, that once they're finished here, they go to the landing page that has the free gift on, or the entrance into the summit, or whatever it is. It just looks cleaner and more professional. Don't get all caught up on that, though. I mean, it is really just as easy to do the confirmation instead of just the message here, okay, and providing the link to something instead, okay? So I'm going to save and close this. I'm going to show you another step here. Now, it's going to take me back to this. It's going to ask me if I want to publish it or finish it later. Now, if I publish it, that means that it is ready to go. It also, you do have the ability to go in and edit it. It's not, once you've created it and published it, it's in concrete. It's not like that at all. What's wonderful about it is you can go in and edit a landing page as many times as you like. It's wonderful. The finish later just means you're not finished and you're not ready to actually publish it. When you click publish, it still does absolutely nothing. So I'm going to click publish. It's not going anywhere. It has literally just been published, and it's still in Mailchimp, available to be used. I really want to make that an understanding that it doesn't actually go anywhere until you put it somewhere, okay? So here it says share your page. This first symbol is just copy a link. You can actually just copy it and put it into your emails. You could put it onto Twitter, or you could put it onto Facebook, whatever the case is. If you click Facebook, it's going to take you to another screen, and you're going to be asked, do you want to put this? I don't think they're going to give you any options, actually. Thank you for that. It's going to go to your personal profile, is like where it's going to go. Okay, if you've got this all hooked up to Facebook, and that might be a step that you'll need to do, which I'm not covering today. Okay, you can see here that it says edit page. It means I can go back in if I wanted, or just leave it as is. So I want to take you back over to the all campaigns. When I click on the all campaigns, you will see that it is here. Call it something. It's been published. It's ready to go. Okay. It also is another way to grab the link. I find it's really handy to right click on the mouse so that it opens up on another screen. You can click on open on another screen so you can grab it there. And I'm going to just do that. Actually, I'm going to wait to do that. What I'd like to show you is that you can do a couple different things. So just over, but not all the way over to the left, you can see view by status, view by type, and then if you've got this other area about create folder. I really love this feature. My VA, we have a future folder, and what she does is she goes in and she creates all kinds of like my weekly newsletter. She'll go in and she'll create a month or 2 months worth of weekly newsletters so that it's ready. That's a landing page, so there's no template per se, but she'll go in and do what I'm about to show you here. And then she puts them in there. I go grab it from there, and I edit it. And then what I also do after the fact is once it's been published, I go back into the future folder, and I actually will click on it, because now that it's published, it's still in that future folder until I move it. But once I've published it, I go back into the future folder, which I've created. That future folder is something I have to create. That's create the folder part. I will go back in and I will click on the this square box that has the ability to mark it here. And when I push this move to area, I don't actually have to move it when it's in the future folder and I want to move it out of the future folder. Instead of where it says add folder, it actually says move from folder there, because it's in a folder. It'll say move from folder. So I can either move it to one of these other folders or just move it from this folder. When it's in that folder and you're moving it from that folder, it auto populates it back into all of the emails or all of the landing pages, whatever is here. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to show you as well. So here's our call it something. Now, let's say that you weren't really super happy with it. You just click on the button on the right-hand side of that, and you have the edit, view landing pages, rename, copy URL, replicate, or unpublish. Unpublish is really handy. I've got like, remember that drop-down folder where it asked if you wanted to use a landing page when you were in your confirmation message or landing page and what have you? All my landing pages that have ever been published are in that drop down of the landing pages. So it's really handy to go in and unpublish ones that are like 5 years old that you're no longer using, because they'll auto populate into that otherwise. And it just makes that drop down list shorter to be able to access. Okay. Renaming it, that's simple enough. Copying the URL is simple enough. Editing it is simple enough, what have you. What I like about this is I've already created this beautiful landing page. And what I'd like to do is go, I want to share this over to the summit, because I want this to go to those summit people specifically. And I really like that landing page. And I want to leave it for my general population as well. I want to know that I'm the one that's collecting those emails. If I replicate it, what happens is I can now edit the name. This is Summit so and so. It's their landing page. Same thing again. I'll now have to go in and edit the title. I'm going to call it that. I'm going to go in and change my image, my thing here. Oh, I wanted to show you another step. Oh, actually, I didn't have to show you that step. I was going to take you off of Mailchimp, but Mailchimp does have the ability to change this icon to whatever it is. I'm going to go grab my icon. There's my logos. I'm going to grab my icon. So it goes in there. Now, for this, it's the same thing. It's social share preview. That's, again, now this is for a summit. So whatever my talk is at the summit, this is where I would put the photo that was pertinent to that. I'd also put in the description whatever my topic was for that, and that this is what I have for a freebie for you because you are here. And that's where I would change all this and write in my description in that. Okay. Again, the URL, if you have the ability, and I'm unsure again if you have the ability on a free Mailchimp, but you definitely do on the paid version. This is where I would go, the so-and-so. That's my summit that I'm in. I'm saving it, so I know that that's their specific URL. So if I was at an even higher paid version of Mailchimp, I could actually have this Mailchimp, I think, have a lot less letters or a completely different. So it's only my URL. Okay. Again, this is important. This is where your audience, you're putting them into your main audience, your only audience, ideally, possibly. And then what you're doing is you're changing the tag. You want it to go specifically into the group that has come from there. So I wrote so-and-so. It's saying create new tag. I'm clicking on that so-and-so. Now, when people sign up through this sign up form, they are going to be tagged in my audience. And I'll show you that in just a minute. So now on this piece, you would go in and in this description part here, you would probably write something like, thank you so much for witnessing me in this summit. I'm really happy to share this with you. Here's a freebie for you because I just really liked your energy, or whatever you want to write, right? Gobbledygook. I'm going to save and close. I am going to have to publish that because I can't give it to them if it's not published, meaning them is that summit host with my bio and all that stuff. I'm going to give also to that link that shows up right here. I'm going to share this link with the host of the summit. So one other thing that I want to show you is why the tagging is so important. So here's my contacts. I have personally, right currently, 461 people in my subscription list. And I want to give you a little heads up about that first. You will have people unsubscribe. And you know what? Rejoice instead of freaking out about it. Because if they're unsubscribing, they're not your right audience. If they're unsubscribing, they're holding space for people that you might actually want in there instead of them. So it's okay if somebody unsubscribes from your email list. It's absolutely fine. So now when you take a look at the down a little bit on the left-hand side there, it says filter by tags. If you click on that, it's going to show all those tags that I've ever created. So I'm going to type in there so and so, and you'll notice that it's popped up. So now here is going to pop up how many people have actually signed up because of that landing page. To get out of that, you're just going to push the X on that, and you're back at this. So I'm going to show you right now. I did a healing faster thing. I had a couple people sign up for that. I'm going to take this off. I'll show you another example. Money Matters 2022. I had 196 people sign up for that one. So all 196 people are in here. Now, when I go and create an email over here, I know that we were directly doing landing pages, but I might as well just do this with you as well. So I'm going to create a new, or I'm going to go find one of my emails that I sent. So now you'll notice here that there's some differences. When you're scrolling down your screen here, you'll see that it says tags on the thing under here. It says landing page under the call it something. If you go down one, it says social posts from Healing Faster. That means it actually was something that got posted to, it was an email, and the email I had it set up so that it would go to Facebook automatically as well. Okay. Regular, this email, it didn't go out to, this went out to my email list specifically, okay? So right there I had just under 25% open rate. And considering that was just this morning, that's pretty good. So I can grab view the email, rename that email, which the only reason I can think of that you would rename an old email that you've already sent out is just to maybe go that this went out in whatever month it went out, or maybe you have something else that you want to call at that point. You can replicate that email. Sometimes it is way easier to replicate your email rather than create a new email, because you created a template for it, because you've got your social shares in there, whatever the case is. Okay, let me think. Is there anything else that I want to cover? We just have covered a huge amount of information that is mostly on landing pages. I'm not going to go into the email stuff right now. I know for myself that I have created in my Google Documents, I have a document that has all my social shares on it so that they're all in one place. I used to honestly go and open up Facebook and get my link. I used to go open up my email and get my social link. I used to go open up LinkedIn and get my link. Creating a document in your Google files that has all your social media links on it is super handy, so that you can just grab them and put them into the icon spots. Okay. You can add I believe you can add to your landing page a social share button. That's all those bits and pieces that are on the right-hand side when you're in the actual area where you can do your editing. What else? I think that's probably a huge amount of information already. Remember, I said you can go back and press pause and rewind, whatever the case is. And I really appreciate you guys holding space and being here for this, because I love having other people learn way faster than I did. And I know what a struggle it was for me in 2017 to do this. So thank you so much for being a part of this.